before we start today with the last episode of March Minifigure Madness, I do want to say thank you to anyone who's been watching through these. This was just sort of a fun project that I've always wanted to do and finally felt the urge and desire to do so. What is up, guys? Welcome back to Marvel Minifigure Madness. Now, this is going to be the part 2, where I just want to get the rest of my Marvel minifigures that I want to talk about. The first one I'm going to talk about is Carol Danvers, or Captain Marvel. Now, I got this also in the Advent Calendar version. I'm not the biggest fan of this hairpiece. It's something about it just feels a little bit weird. It has a secondary face, which is interesting. Now, I do like the printing, how you can see, like, there's actually, like, 2 different shades of, like, this gold in here, which really makes it, like, kind of pop out in this, like, center chest piece here. And it does have the flow that I really like, where it starts with the chest, goes to the waist, and then comes down with this, like, red cape thing that comes across. The back printing, pretty cool, too. Once again, you can see some, like, buckles and the gold that continues down. The face and hair are just kind of, like, standard. They don't really look a ton like her, at least to me. But that's fine. I can understand. It came in the Advent Calendar, so it's not, like, part of a set that has, like, a ton of details to it. So that's fine. Next one I'm going to talk about also came in that calendar, and that is Nick Fury. Now, he did come with this little, like, beanie piece, but normally I keep him off without it, because he normally doesn't have it. Now, I do like how they gave him this, like, trench coat. I'm pretty sure this leg printing is reused from either Emperor Palpatine or Darth Vader, or it might also be the same one as the Red Skull. I'm not entirely sure. As you can see, it doesn't perfectly line up, but it's close enough, and it works. And I just like that they added at least some leg printing there. As you can see, he's wearing this, like his classic trench coat, which is why he has the leg printing in the first place. And you can see he has, like, the shield logo on the corner there. Just a pretty well detailed. I like his, like, shirt underneath, how you can see, like, the collar of, like, a sweater underneath or whatever. And the eye patch and face printing are pretty cool. Even continues the eye patch through the back, which is a nice attention to detail there. It does have back printing as well, which is just a nice touch when they do add some of that, because it really works better when it does. Now, once again, also in that Advent Calendar came this version of Black Widow. Now, I only have 2 different versions of Black Widow, and this is a better version, obviously, because it is also newer. And most of the time, the newer versions are better. I'm not the biggest fan of this hairpiece. I think it's one of the same ones that Captain Carter had, the, like, Winter Soldier look, but it's just a different color. And I've also never been the biggest fan of, like, the face printings for her. They never really look a ton like her, but they just kind of make them look generic, which it's a little bit disappointing. But besides that, I do like how it has this arm printing. You can see, like, a shoulder pad that she has, and even, like, these, like, little things that go around her wrists. I think there's, like, those electric things. I don't know exactly what they are, but I do like that they added them. It is definitely part of her look. And just, like, the silver on her chest in general is pretty cool on the printing there. And it does have a sort of flow to it, but it does have this waist and leg printing that continues the look. It doesn't, like, come from one to the next and through, but it does have them all in their own printings, which is pretty cool. Also does have this back printing here, pretty well detailed, even though it's kind of covered up at the top by the hairpiece. Still a pretty nice little look there. Now, the other Black Widow I have came out during the, like, 2012 Avengers set, and that is this version right here. Now, this one is a lot more evident as what I mean about. I'm not the biggest fan of the face printings on these. I don't know how to describe it necessarily. I think it's these lines on the side with this one that make it look just kind of overall weird. But besides that, this does pretty accurately nail her look from, like, that era of the movies, where you can see she has, like, some of, like, the blue lines that come through her suit and everything, and she has this, like, waistband here, and it technically does have a flow. As you can see, this top piece right here on the chest print does have a little, like, triangle there that's supposed to continue, like, this pouch that comes down all the way through, and then some buckles and stuff on her legs. Even has this, like, back printing here, which is pretty nice. And even noticeably has a zipper that comes down the center of her chest printing. But just the faces and on this older one is just a little bit off to me. Now, I think a minifigure I got in the same set as that version of Black Widow was Hawkeye. Now, this is the only Hawkeye I have, and once again, it's based off his look from the 2012 Avengers. Now, the leg printing is pretty similar to Black Widow's, on this leg especially, but it just, like, overall kind of looks. It does technically have this flow as well. It doesn't line up super well on my minifigure, where it has, like, these buckles that go through. But, like, all these, like, hexagon patterns or whatever that are on his chest are pretty well detailed. It's a nice little attention there. And I like how they gave him one black hand for his, like, bow and arrow. Like, you're supposed to have that, like, leather piece that goes on just to have, like, a glove to, like, protect your hand from, like, the bowstring. This also has a secondary face printing where he's wearing these, like, goggles. I don't remember him really wearing goggles. Maybe I'm just misremembering, but I don't remember him really having goggles, but it still looks cool either way. And also, you can see his quiver is on the back here. It's a little disappointing that they didn't give him, like, a custom piece that goes on, like, the neck for it, and it's just on the back printing, but it's better that they put it there instead of not putting it there at all. Now, the next one I'm going to talk about is Black Panther. Now, this is a pretty cool minifigure minifigure, I only have like one slight complaint with it, and that is that there's no leg printing. It's so well detailed in the chest and the face and even like on the back. Everything is so well detailed and looks so cool with these like purple and grays and silver highlights, and then they just didn't put any leg printing. It would have been so cool if this flowed all the way through. It really would have made it pop just so much. It'd be so cool if this had like arm printing and everything with all this designs. It would have looked super cool with all that. And I mean, it still looks really cool without it. It would just look so much cooler if it had all of that. Now, it also has this piece similar to Darth Maul's, where it's like this little head thing that sits on top. However, the Darth Maul's was a rubber material, whereas you can see this one is actually like a plastic. And the horns like sit in the back, I guess, to give him like a cat look, I suppose. But yeah, this is a pretty cool minifigure. I just wish it was a bit more detailed. So next up is Wanda Maximoff. And once again, black legs with no leg printing. It works a little bit better with this minifigure, but I just wish these had more detail to them. I do like her red jacket though. Like, they could have easily continued that through to the leg printing. But I do like this like outfit that she's wearing and everything. And I like how there's this version where her eyes are red, whereas on her other face, it's just like happy. Even on the back here, it's a nice back printing. I don't know if I like this hairpiece. I think it works all right. It's a bit bulky, and an interesting thing is if I raise the arms too high, it like pops off the hairpiece, which is kind of funny. But my biggest complaint with this minifigure isn't actually the minifigure, it's the accessories that came with it. Is that she's the Scarlet Witch. She has red energies. It's clearly red. It's in the name, Scarlet. Yet they had the audacity to give it like this pink color. I don't understand why they gave it this pink color. It's so clearly just supposed to be red, like it's in her name. Yet they gave it pink. I don't understand that at all. It's not like the end of the world because like it still looks cool and everything, but I just don't understand the thought process behind giving her pink power stuff instead of just giving her red. They have red printings of some of these in some of the like Infinity War sets, I think. So why did they give it this in the Endgame sets? I don't get it. Now, the next one I'm going to talk about is another version of Wanda Maximoff, and that is this version right here. Now, this is the one that came in the Marvel minifigures packets. Now, I prefer this hair a lot more. I think the color of her hair is more accurate, and it also gives her this like little band that comes across. I think this is part of her like Halloween suit from one of the WandaVision episodes. But what's really cool is once again this has this dual arm printing here where it has like this more maroon color in the lower half and like some of her skin at the top there. It has some back of the face printing, and it once again uses these single hole capes, which are these cloth ones, which I really think looks pretty cool. I actually like the single ones as far as the look better because it gives them these like broader shoulders and everything. But besides that, the chest printing is pretty cool. I love how it has the flow once again, continues from the chest through the legs and everything. Even has some pretty cool back printing, pretty well detailed minifigure. And this also came with some of these, and these are like those like red little blaster things. There's these little blaster things where like you push down on it and like it shoots off. Not the most like effective thing. I understand them wanting some playability for like some kids. As you notice, this time they're actually red. So they have the ability to make these with red. So why didn't the other Wanda get the red ones? I just don't understand the thought process behind it. Now, Wanda's known for having a romantic relationship with Vision. So I have this version of Vision right here. Now, I didn't get this in any set. I think this came in one of the Age of Ultron sets, which is why there are some details that are a little strange, but I think it was to avoid some spoilers, perhaps. Now, he has these really nice, like, magenta sort of, like, hands and, like, face and everything. And the colors on this are super cool. And this cape is so interesting. It's actually like a gold and yellow cape, and it has like a different pattern and like feel than any of the other capes I've had before. Now, I didn't actually get the set that this came in. I bought this one online because I wanted a version of Vision. But as you can see, he has like this nice back printing, very well detailed with like some of his like pinkish skins and everything and all these details that come through. And it has this nice flow to it. Now, the part I was talking about where they might have been trying to avoid spoilers is why is the Mind Stone blue? I can only guess it was maybe to avoid spoilers. Besides that, I don't know why they would make it that color, but it's the smallest little detail that's like not a big deal. As you can see, he has some purple in his face too. It's just really well designed and really well detailed. I'm pretty sure the blue is probably just to avoid spoilers with it being like the Mind Stone or Infinity Stone or something. Doesn't make a lot of sense because they could make it yellow and that wouldn't spoil it any more than making it blue, I guess, but I don't really know. You can even see in these toe printings how there are all these tons of little like dots that come across. It's so well like detailed and like just such a like nice attention to detail on it. Now I have another version of Vision, and that's the one also from WandaVision that came in the Marvel minifigures packets, and that is the white version of Vision. This is one of my favorite Marvel minifigures just because there is so much detail in this. If you look in like the chest here, you can see some like little purple parts, but there's also so much gold on it and like white and everything. Even with like, there's so much arm printing with like the same attentions to detail, even leg printing inside of the leg printing. There's just so much detail all over this minifigure, and it looks so cool. Even down to like the back of the head has like silvers and everything, and once again, it uses one of those capes where it has the single hole, although I think most of mine are a little lopsided, but that's fine, I can understand that happens. But yeah, just the amount of detail in this is so cool, and just like, unfortunately, I recorded me talking about the rest of the minifigures, and it stopped recording after I talked about this version of Vision, so pardon me if I go through the next ones kind of quickly or uninteresting sounding. I've already talked about them once, and I don't really want to have to do it again, but I have to because the recording stopped. So, up next is this version of Gamora. She has like these gold molds with all this black printing, and you can even see there's like 3 different colors of like gold on her chest piece, which is super interesting. I do like even how she has these dual mold arm printings with this like extra print that goes over it on top. And it does sort of have a flow from the chest to the waist and to the legs printing. And I do like how she has some silver on her face as well, just because that's how she looks. And I do like how there is this like purple and like pink dye in the hair. Once again, this does have a dual face printing, and this back printing is also pretty interesting. But as you can see, it's pretty cool, and I'm a sucker for like the black and gold minifigures and how they look. And this came in the like Marvel minifigures series package, same with the Vision. Another one that came with those Marvel minifigure series is Catala as Star-Lord. Now this is a pretty sweet minifigure. I love the purple of like his coat and everything. It's so well detailed how there's like a different shade of purple and everything in it. And like this leg printing, I like how they gave him leg printing, and he even has like a dual mold. As you can see, there's brown at the bottom. Even some back printing, which is pretty similar to the front, just a little bit different. But one of the coolest things this has is these like leg rockets that he has, how he like flies through the air. It's so cool. It's a pretty cool addition. I love how they have that as the side of the leg printing. And this helmet's pretty cool. I do like how when you take it off and put the hairpiece on, it's supposed to like continue, sort of, as you can see, like the helmet's supposed to have like the hair that like comes out through it. And I like this face printing. It's a really nice little look to him. And it's a pretty awesome minifigure, and I love these guns that came with him as well. Now, I do want to quickly mention another minifigure that I have, and that is Shangqi. This would be a pretty alright minifigure. It's just the chest piece that I find really interesting, because the face doesn't really look like him. The hair is not super accurate. It does have dual faces, but I just like this chest printing. It's so different from, like, everything else that I have. I just like how, like, there's, like, this red with all these, like, darker red spots in it, and I just like this outfit and how this chest print looks. Not a ton to talk about. I just want to kind of show this off. Now, the next one I want to talk about is Doctor Strange. Now, as I talked about with Zombie Hunter Spider-Man, it's supposed to be based off the same cape, but the reason why Zombie Hunter Spider-Man didn't have it is because then in the minifigures packet, you could like feel through it and find this little piece, and then you know which one you're getting, and that kind of defeats like the whole purpose of it. Besides that, I love the chest printing on all of his robes and everything, even down to the Eye of Agamotto. Same with Gamora, it has like 2 different colors of gold on it, but it's a little harder to see here. Once again, it has the flow that I like, where it goes from the chest piece to the waist to like the legs, with this sort of like tassel and like belt that goes across. Also, pretty similar back printing. It's not a ton different, but I thought it was worth at least showing off. I do like how he also has these dual faces where he has like his like more happy looking face and then his more like upset face. I do like how it has these like gray highlights that go across on the side. Mine are a little lopsided, but that's alright. But the hairpiece is still pretty accurate and pretty cool. Now, next up I'm going to talk about is another version of Tony Stark, and I didn't include this one in the Iron Man episode intentionally because it's not really an Iron Man, and that's this version right here. This came in a set that's supposed to be based off the same, I think, deleted episode as the one that Gamora came from, where Tony Stark is the one on Sakaar instead of Hulk. And I wish I could find my version to show you, but this little image that's on his chest piece is actually like an old school, like classic Lego scuba diving sort of helmet. I have one of them, but I can't seem to find where it is. If I end up finding it before this gets uploaded or edited, I will show it on screen just to show you. Pretty standard, doesn't have any leg printing, not a lot of detail here. It does have the same face printing as most of the modern Iron Man, but I just wanted to show you, a little bit of like another variant of Tony Stark here. Now, another minifigure I want to talk about is Bruce Banner. And as you can see, this is what Bruce Banner looks like. Not a lot of detail here, but that's fine. The biggest thing that I like about this is the face printing. On the backside, you can see he's like in the middle of transforming into Hulk, which is a really nice look. I love how that looks, and it looks super cool when it's on the front face of the figure. Not a lot of detail here. I just kind of wanted this to have a version of Bruce Banner. Now, the next figure I'm going to talk about is actually a big figure, and that is Hulk. This is the Hulk that I got from the 2012 Avengers Lego sets. It came in the same one as one of the original Thors, and also the Loki that I have. Now, as you can see, his skin is very vibrantly green, and he has these tan pants to him, and just has the standard big fig shape in general with a six-pack and these muscles that come up. But I like the hair, and I like having a version of Hulk. I just like how these operate, I guess. And unlike the Cull Obsidian, there's no shoulder pieces, so these can go all the way around. These arms can spin and everything. Now, the version of Hulk that I bought that came with this Bruce Banner that I talked about is this Hulk right here. Now, it does have a more similar skin color to Cull Obsidian's. I like how he has his more classic pants color. These are a little bit more pink than purple, per se. I think this is a little bit more based off of his Avengers Age of Ultron look, just because of how his skin color was muted down a little bit, so it wasn't as vibrant of a green. But besides that, the hair is also a little bit different here, and the face printing is a bit different. He's more of happy, angry, as opposed to just being angry, which is a little weird for Hulk to be sort of happy, angry, I guess. But it's still a cool variant to have. It's pretty much the exact same as before, a little bit less texture in the pants, and it has these spiked edges to it as well. That's just every other Marvel minifigure that I wanted to talk about today. I just want to thank you guys for watching these Marvel minifigure madness videos. I had a lot of fun filming these, and I hope you guys had a lot of fun watching. So I will see you guys in the next video that I make, whenever that happens to be.
Farted on the track. Farted. Oh yeah.